I call the March 9th, 2026 Mexico City Council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Ray,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
First off, presentation, Parks and Recreation Department. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. As we continue with our departmental updates this evening, we have Parks and Recreation, and Chad Underwriter will give his report.
Thank you, Council. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate the opportunity to be able to give this report tonight. Just an overview of our last fiscal year as far as our mission statement in our department: provide a safe, professional, high-quality, affordable leisure and recreation service to the residents of Mexico. So that's kind of with our mission as far as in Parks and Rec. That has been the mission statement for many years, and we try to do that with what we provide. As far as to endure success for our department, we kind of have an acronym that we follow: heart, honor, effort, attitude, respect, and teamwork. And this is kind of with what our employees try to embody so that we can continue to provide the service and needs to the community. And so for us, it's not just an acronym, it's a foundation to our commitment. So that's kind of our emblem that we try to follow. As far as on the staffing, so this is reflective of the end of the fiscal year. We are currently down in Arbor's position, but as far as all our other full-time positions are filled, or we're either filled by part-time help in that place, filling the service and the needs. So the way that we're kind of broken down is we have 7 full-time staff in the Parks and Rec Department. We have 2 in the animal shelter, 2 in the cemetery, and 1 in the forestry. And so under the directors, we have more than just Parks and Rec, as it's broken down to many different divisions. So cemetery, forestry, and animal shelter all fall underneath my direction on that. So as far as on the forestry side of things, as far as some highlights in fiscal year 2025 was we contracted with Hanson and had a full year removal of limbs. So each year, or in the past 2 years, we've been able to contract with them, and they come into the brush yard and remove our limbs that we've gathered throughout the year, and so grind it up into mulch. So you'll see mulch piles out there, and that's where that comes from. The brush yard operates year-round. We have a summer hours and winter hours. So when the clocks spring forward, we're in summer hours. Whenever the clocks fall back, we go winter hours. So on the summer hours is from Tuesday to Saturday, Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 1 and 4 to 6. And on Saturdays is 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. during the summer hours. During the winter hours, we go from 11 to 3 on Wednesdays and then 9 to 3 on Saturdays. So this was a change that we made this year because of it was getting dark, and so we were being there after hours and so forth. So to improve the safety, this was a change that we made into fiscal year 25. As far as the items that we have out there, whether it's the mulch or the wood or anything out there, is free to pick up for the citizens that are able to come out and help themselves. We do help if they bring a trailer on that, but if it is just for their own personal vehicle in the back of a truck, we do not help load on that. So outlook for this year is to hopefully remove some more ash trees. One of the things in our parks, we do have them identified, and we pick a park and try to get trees removed out of there. We helped the street department to remove some right-of-ways that's been a little bit held up this year due to our arborists leaving at the start of the year. So we are a little bit behind on the right-of-way trees, and then we also participate in the Arbor Day, which we combine our Arbor and Earth Day that we participate in, and that's to help for our Tree City USA award. So the cemetery, which also falls under, in 2025, we were able to purchase a dirt sifter to help give us clean dirt. And so that's really helped on our dirt. As far as on the cemetery side of things, we had 37 burials last year, and we have approximately 300 sites left in queue. And so, I would say probably in about 20 years, 15 to 20 years is with how we're still good on far as burial sites. We do burial in other plots if they've already been bought, but right now with what we have remaining up for sale is about 300. As far as the cemetery outlook, there's two things that we're trying to do is the entryways in the cemetery. So we'll get 2 of them done this year. One's been completed. The other one is scheduled to be completed this month. And then the one by Ameren will be scheduled to complete next fiscal year. There's a little bit more that we have to work on that one with. And then to increase our clean dirt supply for the filling in of the graves. As far as the park and recreation operational programs, this year we were able to get the dog park up and going in Fairgrounds, which was something that came back from surveys and a need for the community, and so we were able to find a spot and get that taken care of. Also that we were able to do is improve our trails in Green Estates and Lakeview, and Lakeview is a continuing process that we were able to improve the trail by the dog park, and then Green Estate we were able to do some crack sealing there for the asphalt to extend its life there instead of doing a whole new hole. And then we got a few collaborations out there. So Arthur Hills, we partner with them as far as our golf camp goes. The YMCA, we have different collaborations with them as far as facility usage, such as our winter walking. We have a Challenger soccer camp that we do at Fairgrounds, which is in the middle of July. And then Walk Back in Time, we were able to help them at RS Green Park on that. Also this year, our campground had an increase of revenue. So it was one of our highest revenue years at the campground, and so probably part of that was due to the work that Western Smokehouse and ADM did with the contractor work, but we were almost at $10,000 for our revenue at the campground, and normally we're around $7,000. Also, last year, we were able to complete Phase 1 as far as the master plan, and so going into this year, as far as an outlook, we have Phase 2 that was approved at one of the last council meetings as far as getting that approved, and so we will start working on trails and connectivity of the parks will be the focal plan of Phase 2 on that, and that's information's coming from the surveys that came out from Phase 1. Another thing that's on our capital outlay is the entrance at Teron Park that we are working with Public Works on, of getting an entrance and a parking lot there, as well as working on the museum site in Teal Lake Park. So both of those are in coordination with Public Safety or Public Works on that. Another highlight that we had was winter operations team. This year, we were able to support the street department and Public Works on assisting for as manpower, and then we're also going to get a truck that will also help in the process to get an extra truck out on the road. So highlight for the Parks and Rec staff to be able to help in this process of getting streets. And then monthly events, we're trying to do a monthly event. What you see in the picture is our December holidays at Hardin that we were able to partner with United Credit Union, which turned out very well, that we had Mr. and Mrs. Claus, we had reindeers, and we had over 300 people that attended that event. Swimming pool, as far as some highlights in the swimming pool, was that continuing to replace loungers that we have out there for seating and so forth. Increased pool rentals. Last year we had 6 pool rentals total, and the year before that we didn't have any pool rentals. And then consistent hours, one of the things that we did change going into last year, we went from 12 to 5 Monday through Sunday. The year before that we had 3 different time slots for our pool, so we did change those hours to be more consistent and friendly for the people to follow. As far as our capital outlay for is in 2026 is replace our loungers in the pool, so in the pool water. So we have 6 loungers that you can sit in the pool with, and so they have about worn out its time, and so we did replace those and got those in, hoping to increase programming this year. We got 5 night swims scheduled. We have swimming lessons scheduled, and we're hoping we added birthday parties that people are able to use, and then far as just our after hours rental. So we're hoping to increase the programming side to be better filled. On October 1st, I was asked to overtake the animal shelter, and so I've been doing that since October 1st. So basically, not much far as the previous year, but we did impound, and an impound is any animals that come into. We had 691 impounds last year for the fiscal year, so we will, and so we did have about an 81 or 82% live outcome rate with that. So that was the numbers from last year. And as far as going into this year, what we are doing is establishing rapport with other rescues and so forth to try to get a better live outcome result. So.
What's capacity at the shelter?
So we have in the front is 28 dog cages, 16 cats, and then 5 isolation on the dogs. As far as upcoming challenges for us, minimum wage. This year, minimum wage is going to impact us at the pool, projected around $30,000 this year with the increase. So hopefully that minimum wage stables out, and so then that next year we don't have another increase on minimum wage. So that's one of the things that we're constantly battling, and we'll see how that comes to fruition. Cost and time on projects, as we know that costs continue to rise, and so far as time is not ever certain with when they're going to be able to get to our project, regardless of when they tell us. As far as the homeless population and restroom, from my first year to this year, we did have a little bit more homeless in the park. We had 4 instances where I've had to deal with, but overall, homeless hasn't been much of a problem yet, far as with us having to remove abandoned property, but it was a little bit more this year than it was last year in my first year. And then the pool debt service, we will have that until 2031. We will pay is whenever that concludes. So, but it's each year we get closer to fulfilling that full debt. And then overview of some of our Parks and Rec commitments and so forth. So one of our programs we do at the library once a month is After School Book and Art. And then this summer we're going to add that into the park because it would go from September to April. And this year we're going to do pop-ups in our park. So that's another way that we've added program. The Senior Expo that is at the YMCA, I'm on that committee, and so we will help get that, which is end of this month that we're a part of. Arbor and Earth Day that we do an educational event on that and do a proclamation. And we have tree planting and removal, operating of Elmwood Cemetery, and then assisting with special events, whether it's Walk Back in Time, Soybean Festival, and Miss Missouri Pageant are just a few of the things where we support at. So. Be happy to answer any follow-ups, questions that you have for us, Parks and Rec goes.
Can I reserve a pool lounger now?
Absolutely.
Got a new Speedo.
Tell us what days you'll be there then.
Back on the staffing there, there's just a term I didn't understand. I apologize, I can't talk. MEO?
So we have Maintenance 1 and Maintenance 2. It's our job classification.
I didn't know what that's.
Yeah.
Anything else? Thanks, Chad. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Approval of minutes.
Move we approve the minutes of, never mind.
Ray,
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Haig,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
New business, bill number 2026-08, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract of obligation with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. Back in 1998, the city closed its sanitary landfill, and as a part of that, we had to perform a post-closure process, which basically means we need to make sure we have enough money if there are issues that we can deal with those issues as far as the landfill. And so we are required to provide financial assurance that we can do that. And we have to perform this each year, and as we get closer to the end of the 30 years, it's getting a little easier to do, and we're better financially for it. But to cover the details of this evening's resolutions, Vicki Dickey, Finance Director.
As Bruce mentioned, in 1998, the city closed its landfill and began the 30-year post-closure process as required and regulated by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. As part of that post-closure process, the city prepares an estimate of the annual and cumulative cost related to post-closure activities and submits the report to Missouri DNR for approval. This year, staff will submit the executed contract that's before you tonight, along with an updated financial assurance instrument to Missouri DNR, noting a potential post-closure cost estimate of $78,715. As of September 30th, 2025, that's how the report is prepared based on our fiscal year, the city has a balance of $189,000 in post-closure funds, which is anticipated to well cover the estimated future expenses for post-closure. So based on the city's financial assurance instrument to be submitted, the city's Standard & Poor credit rating of A, stable, and the success of our post-closure funding mechanism, the city will be able to enter into this contract of obligation without being directed to expend funds to purchase an insurance policy, naming Missouri DNR as an additional insured. Staff recommends council proceed with reading by title only and passage of the resolution authorizing the city manager to sign the contract of obligation with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources.
I move for reading of bill number 2026-08.
Second.
Ray.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Haig.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Bill number 2026-08, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract of obligation with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources regarding estimated post-closure expenditures for the City of Mexico sanitary landfill. Permit number 0100703. I move for passage of bill 2026-08.
Second.
Ray.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Haig.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Yes.
Bill number 2026-09, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign task order number 3 with Navigate Building Solutions. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. I am aware that there has been substantial conversations online regarding the use of the former Cancer Center as a new city hall, police, and fire station. Before proceeding to discuss the resolution, I want to take a few moments to discuss some facts about the project so that you get them directly from the source. First of all, one, we all want and need a new hospital. The city is not looking at a new city hall public safety facility instead of a hospital. Both projects are actively moving forward. The hospital project is continuing to move forward, albeit slowly. The changes to Medicaid reimbursement have drastically changed the healthcare landscape. That's not just here, it's across the state and it's across the country. And this has slowed, not stopped, Boone Health from continuing. The city, county, public health, Boone Health continue to meet weekly in an effort to move this project forward. Given Boone's desire to rebuild on the former hospital site, the county and city are moving forward to create a build-ready site so that it will be fully prepared for them when they are ready. As a matter of fact, we have the bid opening for phase 1 of the demolition, which will be this Wednesday. And that will be for the demolition of the Cornerstone and Stribling buildings. Boone Health has asked the city to consider construction of a new city hall and police and fire station adjacent to the future hospital site. You have a map before you which shows the whole site, and as you know, it's a fairly large site, and the cancer wing itself is the one that's the farthest to the east, which is circled in the red. That is the area that we're generally referencing. Boone Health has reviewed the former hospital buildings, and they deemed them inadequate for a new hospital. They will not meet current licensing or code requirements set by the state of Missouri for hospital, and it was confirmed by state officials. The Forvis report included the same regarding State Hospital Regulatory Department regarding old buildings. The Forvis report also stated that a known proven healthcare provider was preferred by the community residents. As we know, at least 5 different owners attempted to make the old hospital buildings work. None succeeded. If it was possible using the existing buildings, it would have been done. It's time to try a new approach. Patrick, would you go to the next slide? This slide indicates generally where a new critical access hospital would set on the site. Therefore, it does not interfere with what's being proposed whatsoever. Upon recruiting and entertaining, we went to and interviewed many hospital operators. Boone Health was the only system that responded to Mexico's call for help. If nothing is done, these buildings will become a substantial nuisance problem. The county and city have partnered to ensure that does not happen by bringing down these buildings and doing what is right for our community. The need for a new city hall is real. Navigate Building Solutions was hired to evaluate the feasibility of 3 options. Renovate the existing city hall, build an entirely new facility on the old Pearl parking lot, which we own just immediately over here, or reuse the cancer center. Council heard a presentation on these options and provided feedback. Not to pursue renovation of the current building, and due to cost of a new building, pursue the cancer center option. $12.8 million was estimated for project cost for a cancer center option, $18.7 million for a new building, and $18.6 million to renovate this building. By using the former cancer center, it saves tax dollars by not demolishing the building. It is not only financially beneficial, but it is also environmentally responsible by keeping a good structure intact and out of the landfill. Furthermore, it saves the residents of the City of Mexico nearly $6 million. Audrain County residents, as well as city residents, can know that their tax dollars are being spent in the most efficient manner with this approach. A couple of letters I do want to reference at this time that council has received. They're aware of them. They've heard this information many times. You may not be. So I think it's important that I cover them. The first being from Boone Health. It states, I appreciate the opportunity to share an opinion regarding the potential for co-location strategies. To start, the campus of the old hospital is very large and has plenty of room, not just for a critical access hospital, but for several outbuildings for future medical office space. The prior cancer center location is well positioned to be on the side of the land. In laying out potential locations for a hospital, the closer the proximity to public safety resources, the better. I want to share some disturbing statistics to illustrate why hospitals are trying to build closer to law enforcement. In working towards ensuring an on-site presence as much as possible, any hospital fortunate enough to locate with public safety resources is a step ahead and an envy to other hospitals. Some of the statistics that were provided, which are from local in Missouri as well as national data, and I'm not going to read through all of those, but what I will say is to share a snapshot of the challenges currently facing Boone Health. Please know that Boone, a 2-month snapshot workplace of violence, just the last 2 months, involved 33 cases, which 6 were physical assaults. These events are troubling, not just because of safety, but because of the ability to find people willing to work in healthcare. One of the keys to preventing workplace violence is presence and proximity to law enforcement. I fully recognize the difficult decisions facing council. I appreciate the opportunity just to share some research as it pertains to the healthcare delivery and the challenges we face each day. Best regards, Brady DuBois, President of Health. Council's also been presented a letter which has to deal with the county. And I read, we have reviewed the draft letter of intent. The commission agrees materially with the draft. We will work with you on the final wording. We'll put an execution of the letter of intent on our agenda after the city has determined its interest in the building. It is not our place of the county to advise the city on this matter. We support the city in whatever decision is made. Our support of the concept is evident by our agreement in principle to the letter of interest. We are aware that there are those who believe that the city's issues of the use of the former cancer center would be detrimental to the efforts to reestablish a hospital. We disagree with that assessment. We believe that it is likely will be helpful instead. This might be another step in the process of a community recovering from a mess left to us by real estate investors. And that is from the presiding commissioner. The letter of intent is issued solely by the county to the city to convey certain real estate. And that is the property that we indicated on the slide, which is the old cancer center area. The county states its intent is to convey the described property and right-of-way in recognition of the costs, as well as the direct and indirect costs that the city has incurred in supporting this. This has been a mutual effort to prepare this property, and we have been working hard to do that. The city has also been saving for City Hall for a number of years. Nearly a decade ago, council and staff began to work toward establishing a plan for a new City Hall. But escalating building costs during COVID, along with the hospital closing, put a significant damper on this project. The money that the city has saved for the City Hall project cannot legally be spent for a hospital. Would you move to map 3? This is the site that we are proposing. This is the general of what we're saying is to keep and add on to. That is the general proposal that's being before us. The current building itself that we're in has major issues. The Public Safety Department is at a crucial juncture. It is down 8 full-time positions. One contributing factor is the lack of facilities. The chief has provided notification that they must move forward with budgeting major items in the next 2 years, and is anticipated that these will be $1 to $2 million in cost. These items are vital to their operation to continue. Public safety cannot afford to delay this decision much further. And I asked Chief Mesko if he would please refer to some of those items.
Good evening, Council. Mr. Slagle allowed me to speak briefly tonight about this resolution because I expressed to him that I felt there was some misinformation about it that was actually having a detrimental effect on Mexico public safety. The misinformation is that Mexico repurposing a vacant building to get into a better city hall public safety station is somehow stopping a hospital from coming to Mexico. I think you all understand that's not true. But the detrimental effect of this misinformation is that it clouds the issue and keeps us from moving forward. The hospital closing was a blow to the Mexico area, but anyone who thrives does not just curl up and lay there when they get knocked down. They get back up and they move forward. Mexico is a strong community that refuses to just lie down. We have major employers, like manufacturers and a public school system. We have other schools, unique locations like MMA and Presser Hall. Heck, we have a great park system we just heard about. We have events like Miss Missouri, Walk Back in Time, and the Soybean Festival, and we invest in things like Main Street Mexico so that no part of our city becomes blighted. All of those require the local government to provide services, and part of those services is public safety. It was over 30 years ago that it was recognized that Mexico Public Safety needed a more suitable work situation outside of 300 North Cole Street. It started as a discussion about stacked apparatus, ISO ratings, and training facilities, and Mexico Public Safety just made it work and made it work until a solution could be found that was most beneficial to the city as a whole. All the while, our facilities have become more and more inadequate. Almost a year and a half ago, I went running to Mr. Slagle saying that we were about to reach a breaking point and we were approaching an area where Mexico was going to have to sink more resources into Mexico Public Safety if we wanted to continue to have professional and efficient police and fire services. Part of those resources is a station upgrade. That's when he let me know about the Boone Hospital plan and their suggestion for us to use the 1998 addition to the building. And so there it was. It was a solution that was most beneficial to the city as a whole. That was almost a year and a half ago. We know that even if we move forward now, we are 2 years out from seeing anything substantial being completed. A few weeks ago, I gave you our department update, and I ended it by telling you that the current team was dedicated and hardworking, and I believe the annual report actually showed that. I also told you that we are severely understaffed, and we needed to build on our core urgently before we lose it. Since that time, we have had another officer resign. Recruitment and retention is everyone's issue right now, but none more so than the police. And I could start listing off our deficiencies of our station, like inadequate decontamination, inability to use modern cleaning equipment, a parking lot with sinkholes that's collapsing into a neighbor's property where you have to do 3-point turns to back out and go to a call. The fact that the officers sit in basically what's a dead-end hallway to do their reports. But instead, I will tell you that one of the people who resigned most recently stated that they valued their time at Mexico Public Safety and described being part of this team as a, quote, rewarding experience. They also said their reason for leaving was the lack, quote, the lack of equipment and resources given to MPSD officers to complete their job, end quote. There are more people paying attention to this issue than those on social media or even those that are here at the council chambers tonight. I'm asking that we not allow the issues to get clouded and we take actionable steps to move forward. I'm asking that we show the Mexico Public Safety team that we're willing to invest in them, because if we aren't, there are plenty of other communities and departments that are. Thanks for listening to my concerns, and Drew Williford, I think, is going to actually present the resolution.
Thank you, Chief. Yes. Thank you, Chief.
Oh, good evening, council. For my portion here, I'm going to be presenting what's actually in the task order tonight. Task Order 3 has been developed in conjunction working with Navigate Building Solutions, who you know has been spearheading the feasibility studies for both all three locations and also the initial location of the Cancer Center. This includes their services as a project owner representative, which means they'll be overseeing all of the work. So think about everything from design through construction. They'll be working with the engineers, the architects, the contractor. They'll be working through designing the project, getting the bid documents put together, checking material submittals, working through all of that on our behalf, being a liaison as well between all of those entities and city staff. And that's what this task order does. They provided a schedule that, if adopted here, we'd be looking at starting in March, and between design and bidding, be looking at having bidding documents ready here in early part of next year, February. So we're talking roughly 1 year to that point, maybe even before, judging by some discussions earlier. And then that would be the start of construction for a new city hall at the Cancer Wing location. That also includes closeout work, so an as-built drawing set, things of that nature. This task order covers all of those things. It covers issues that also relate to, or items that also relate to issues encountered on the project. They would work on our behalf to mitigate any kind of concerns that do develop and provide that information to us. As part of this, they have developed a cost estimate, and essentially they have split it into 2 phases, with the project design and bidding services to be paid at a lump sum cost of $152,100, and The construction and closeout will say phase to be $213,900 for a total of $366,000. The city's current fund, which is used for improvements at City Hall, holds $489,492 currently. It was budgeted at $500,000. We've had to use some of that fund for the Navigate work, and so it does provide sufficient funding to move forward with this task order. And with that, we'd recommend proceeding with reading by title only, and if you have any questions, staff will be happy to answer them.
I move for reading of bill number 2026-09.
Have any questions for Drew?
I do.
Okay.
Just real quick on the original estimate.
First, we need a second.
You need a second first.
Second.
4 questions.
Before questions.
Dies for lack of second.
Not hearing a second. It dies for lack of second.
Wait a minute, no second.
The letter of intent from the county has not been signed.
No, they're waiting. If you don't move.
But my question is, if we have the intent, they need to know it, right?
That's what they're saying. This is to be mutually signed. They'll put it on their next agenda, we'll put it on ours. If you move forward, they're ready to sign
So
what they're
is
telling you.
is this considered our intent then,
Yes.
if we're voting for this?
Yeah.
Without obligation to pay Navigate if they don't sign the letter of intent?
If you want to make that as part of your deal.
I would certainly want it to be that way.
But their indication to you is, if you move forward for this project, they get it, they're willing to sign it, it's a mutual thing that we both sign.
Yeah.
And it would be on your
Okay.
next agenda to approve as well.
And I can't ask a real quick question before the vote then?
Well,
no vote.
no
There's a
vote.
second.
It's
Okay.
died for lack of second.
I'll do the second, and,
It's too late. It's too late. Has to
oh,
go back up.
it's too late? Is there a time limit?
No.
Can't go back.
You can re-motion, I suppose.
Second.
You can re-motion if you want.
There's a time limit for making a second here? I'm confused.
Well, that's what the mayor asked, if there was a second. We didn't hear one, and that's what he
Okay.
said, that it
Died
would
for lack
die.
of second.
So, I
Okay.
mean, you can re-motion, that's your choice, but
Yeah,
the
I'll
first motion.
make a re-motion for it, but I wanted to ask a question to Drew first.
Yeah.
Or
Second.
Navigate.
So your motion is to approve the bill, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
If our letter of intent is going to be signed after they get this word,
Yep. What they're saying.
Mr. Struble, you agree with that? Is that,
You-
okay? Yeah.
My comment is I'm not against the hospital cancer center. I'm against this motion at this time because we have never approved that building to be the building. We've had it on the agenda, and it's come up to a vote, and it's never been voted. If you want to, next meeting, you want to put on the agenda that we decide where we're going to build it, and we vote it up or down, then I'll vote for this. But I don't see how we can vote for $376,000 to be spent on a building we haven't decided if we're going to use yet.
Does this kill two birds with one stone by saying we're going to proceed with Navigate, get the signed letter from the commissioners, and that by voting on this would, in effect, give us the decision from us?
Yes. In the presentation that they provided under next steps, it was clearly defined, I guess, as, the resolution as far as approval to move forward with this project. So this resolution does that. It gives you that authority to do that.
Does both?
Yes, the way we see it. Now, if that's not what you wish, council, it's your decision.
I think I've mentioned before, and I'll mention again, that I'm not ready to say that that's the right location. One. And so I won't vote for this resolution. I think there's still other options that we need to look at, and I think I've suggested that we have another study session, or 2 or 3 or 12, or whatever we need, in order to come up with more information and provide more information. Get provided more information. I haven't seen that. So I'm not ready to do this. And it has
I'd
nothing
like
do
to
with-
go ahead and make a motion in favor of the resolution.
Put it in there.
Second.
Sorry, 1 second.
That's all right.
Ray,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Haig,
Yes.
Miller,
No.
Weber,
No.
You need to read the resolution.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Is this on Vicky?
One of you that,
I'll read it. Bill number 2026-09, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign task order number 3 with Navigate Buildings Solutions LLC for owner representative services. I move for passage.
Second?
Ray,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Haig,
No.
Miller,
No.
Weber,
No.
resolution fails.
Bill number 2026-10, a resolution authorizing city manager to sign task order number 2026-01 with Luminix Electrical. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor, this is for replacement of some electrical issues at the wastewater treatment plant, and to cover the details of the project, once again, Drew Wilford.
There's no pump on here.
Well, I was going to lead with that. I'm pleased at least to say that this is a budgeted improvement to the wastewater treatment plant, and it's not out of a, let's say, a broken piece of equipment. This is actually something that's been identified in our 2019 facility plan update for the plant, and also been noted by our wastewater staff. Our wastewater treatment process uses an anaerobic digestion method to decompose solids. So as part of that, it reduces the volume of solids that need to be treated out in the, I should say, land applied out in the field. That requires dewatering to occur, and we use what's called a gravity belt thickener to accomplish that. It's also known as the small press. We use a excuse me, as part of that, we have several pumps in the basement of the thickening building that are all water cooled and pump the solids from the thickening building to our digester. Well, those pumps, because they're water cooled, create a pretty corrosive environment, and because of that, we have a control panel for that small press that is in need of replacement, has quite a bit of rust and corrosion on it. So city staff have budgeted for this replacement. It's a pretty substantial one. That we contacted the city's on-call electrician as part of this to evaluate a proposed plan that not only would reduce that corrosion issue, but also move the panel so that when our staff are spraying and cleaning the plant, it's not encountering any overspray. So Lumix Electrical out of Fulton, Missouri did provide an estimate for all of that work and material at a cost of $106,678.20. The 25-26 annual budget provides $110 for this purchase. We do have enough.
State that 110,000.
Did I say $110?
Yeah.
We'll take that.
We'll take that.
My apologies, the rest will come out of my, my pay. $110,000 for that purchase, and again, the cost is $106,678.20. My apologies for the confusion. There is sufficient funding in the wastewater fund to cover this purchase. We'd recommend proceeding with read and title only, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I move for go ahead.
Move for reading of Bill 2026-10.
Second.
Ray,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Haig,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes. Bill 2026-10, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign task order number 2026-01 with Lumix Electrical LLC for replacement of the small press control panel at the wastewater treatment plant. Move for passage of 2026-10.
Second.
Ray,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Haig,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Other business, staff report, appointment to the Mexico Park Board. Mr. Slagle?
Yes, Your Honor, we do currently have 2 vacancies on the park board with 2 unexpired terms. We've had 2 resignations. The terms do run through June of '28. We did receive an application from Regina Johnson expressing interest in serving on the board. This is a city manager's appointment, therefore I would recommend that we appoint Regina Johnson to serve one of the unexpired terms that would expire in June of '28, and I would ask that the council concur with the appointment.
So moved.
Second.
Ray,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Haig,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Claims.
Move to pay claims.
Second.
Ray,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Haig,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Council comments. Mr. Ray?
Went to the Agribusiness 51st edition. Had a good time there, good presentation, and witnessed the Dale Schnarr Award presentation. Very nice event out at the 4-H Center. We love agriculture in our county, so that's all I have to report. Great weather today, too.
Ms. Briggs? Mr. Miller?
Well, I attended the Chamber award ceremony. It was quite a lot of good people won their awards, and I'm sure they're deserving and have done quality work for the City of Mexico, and I appreciate their efforts. And other than that, that's all I have.
Mr. Weber?
Same thing. I congratulate those folks who won the awards at Chamber Banquet, and that's all I know.
Mr. Slagle?
Nothing at this time, Your Honor.
Attended the city dinner. Thanks for everybody that put that on. It's good to see everybody. It's good to celebrate our employees, and congratulations to the people who won awards that night. I think there was a 5 and a 20 years. I get to feel old because I look around and I turn around and there were students I taught, and there's more and more students I taught, so that means I'm getting old other than the gray hair. Also, the Humane Society, went to that the other night. That was a lot of fun. They like to stay up late. Next year I'm going to have to take a nap before I go out there, but it was a good time, some good trivia, and I'm not as smart as I thought I was. And last thing, thanks Chad and the parks. I know it's a busy season for you all getting ready to go, but I know we are blessed with all the opportunities we have to get out and enjoy what our tax dollars have provided to the people of Mexico, so thanks for what you do. Public comment. If you choose to make a comment, come to the podium, state your name, state your address, and you will have 3 minutes.
Do we have to wait for, how long do we have to wait, kind of like for a second, or what?
I'm Donna Corrado. I live about 300 yards outside of Mexico. And I want to thank the council for listening, and I want to thank them for allowing us to speak. I think that you've made a wise move this evening in your postponement, and we're hoping that we can help everything move forward at a faster pace from here on. Thank you.
My name is Alex Fink. I'm a local physician and business owner. I'm also running for city council this term. I just wanted, thank you for the opportunity for speaking. I just wanted to express my...
Alex, can you give your address?
2434 Southern Hills, sorry. About as close to the country as you can get without being in the country. So, I'd just like to kind of politely but firmly express my strong disagreement and displeasure with the vote tonight. Look, I'm a physician. I've personally and professionally seen the adverse outcomes of not having a hospital. But the vote today was about the City Hall. And I thought the city manager did a really wonderful job of laying out why it made sense to vote in the affirmative for the vote tonight. As stated, the money could not be used for the hospital legally. It saves the taxpayer in this city $6 million to go to the cancer center. And our premier partner that we want to use, Boone Health, recommended that we have our city hall next to the future site of our hospital. Additionally, our partners on the square, the county, recommended and supported the effort as well, or at least it seemed to. I kind of got lost in that discussion, but it seemed to. And lastly, and maybe most importantly and most compellingly, something I was not aware until this evening, Chief Mesko recommended, it seemed, without reservation, that we keep our community and our city competitive for retaining officers, which is a nationwide and, of course, a citywide problem. And the last person to resign stated that the facilities were in part a reason. So the city should be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. We can and should work with Boone, and I know we are, and I trust you all. This is not what this is about. I trust you all completely to do that and to move forward with the new city hall at the same time. So I've sat through other deliberations on a new city hall. In fact, how to mitigate the cancer wing and all that stuff. I've sat through that. So I just ask, what else is needed? What else do you need to know to make the right decision to save our city and our town and our county, or our citizens' money, and to keep us competitive for our public safety officers, and to follow the recommendations, it seems, of the career professionals, civic professionals at the city level. I trust their recommendations, and I would have voted in the affirmative tonight. Thank you.
I'm Mike Briggs, full disclosure, Councilman Briggs has been my wife for 56 years. And I'm very disappointed.
Address, Dr. Briggs.
I'm sorry?
Address.
1413 Briarwood. Yeah,
Thank you.
My business address used to be across the street. And so I sort of know what it's like to be a neighbor to the public safety. I parked my car about 75 feet to the south, excuse me, I'm pointing the wrong way, to the south for 33 years. And once my office was robbed and the public safety department showed up, it seemed like before I put the phone down. And so I can fully understand the hospital's desire to have the public safety right there. As far as having more information, I think you just spent $10,000 to get more information. I think you know what you need to do. I'm concerned that we might blow a great partnership. You've got a great partnership with the county and Boone Health. And a mistake we've been making for a few years now is we've had poor running of the hospital. I've lost track. There have been 5 different leadership groups. I was on Audrey Medical Center's board of directors in the 1980s, and I have that perspective of seeing what it takes. It takes expertise to run a hospital while Boone Health has it. And I think we got the right partner, and the county's done well to team up with us. And I feel like we've let the public safety down. I'm sorry for letting you guys down. Hopefully you can find your way to get her done. That's what I'm going to say.
Sorry, I'm a little slow. What is the time frame? Is there a time frame? Because I couldn't hear everything you were saying.
Ma'am, name, address.
Linda Reed, 2400 Park Crest, former city council person.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there a time frame for the hospital, for Boone? You know, the reason I'm asking is because Last summer, a lady I knew, 60 years old, had a heart attack at her home. She died on the way to the hospital in Columbia. Earlier this year, another lady I knew, upper 60s, she had a health problem. She died before they could get her to a hospital. And me, I had total knee replacement at the end of October, and I had the unfortunate thing happen to me. I got a blood clot. When I went to get an ultrasound over in Columbia, the doctor there said, if you start feeling certain symptoms, get to the emergency room immediately. I couldn't get there immediately. So if that blood clot moved, I wouldn't be here today. So I'm asking time frames. Is there any time frames on this?
Would you like me to respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I will do my best to respond to you, Linda.
Yeah, I would just like to know.
As I mentioned, that the changes in Medicaid reimbursement.
Right, I know.
Changed the forecast.
I read about that.
That was all part of that, that big, beautiful federal bill. And quite honestly, we don't know how that's affecting us yet because the state legislature has not acted yet. They're looking at a $2 billion cliff that they're going to fall off of in 2 years. And where's that money going to come from? Is it going to come from hospital care? Is it going to come from mental health care? Is it going to come from schools? I don't think they have a clue.
Right.
And that's the problem. What Brady Dubois said standing right there where you're at is he says, I know that they're probably going to get this worked out. I have belief, I have faith, I have to. But he also said what we're doing is searching for a joint venture partner because we're looking for other solutions. And they're working through that process. And all I can say with that is that I know that they are working as hard as they can, as fast as they can, but they want to make sure they do their due diligence because they don't want to put themselves in a negative position and they don't want to give us something that's negative again too. But as you read their statements, our hospital here is a top priority of theirs for the future.
That would be good, that's for certain. And just one other
That doesn't
thing.
give you a time frame, but we're working as hard as we can to get there as soon as we can.
One other thing that has bothered me really bad is that the Stribling House is going to be torn down. And you all want to use the Cancer Center. These were donated buildings. And now we're just going to tear them down. Colonel Stribling, the older Colonel Stribling, and others donated the Stribling House for the use of the hospital and also the Cancer Control Center where Dr. Waheed was. He's left, of course, because of Noble Health closing it down. That bothers me that it's not going to be used for a hospital and for those purposes. I know my time limit's up. Thank you.
Can you get the second shot at it?
Go ahead.
Michael Daugherty, 3551 Linwood Drive. I don't talk very often at these kind of things, obviously because of my job, but if you haven't been downstairs, and this has nothing to do with what you're talking about here, but yet it does. Bryce, I hope you give people tours tonight, because if you haven't been downstairs, you're in for a little bit of a shock as far as how police departments are run. And it's not Bryce's issue, it's an issue of this building, and I think probably every one of the people in front of me can relate to exactly what I'm talking about. But, I would hope, whether it's, and you've got to get this resolved, is what it comes down to, is because you can't move forward with something that makes that situation better until you resolve this issue. So, as you can see, I've given you absolutely no direction to go in. Thank you.
Come on up. Come on up.
$10.
Did you keep track? Was he at 2 minutes?
Yeah, the time's fine.
Yeah.
You have left, Dr. Brooks.
Make it quick.
A question, can construction go on simultaneously? Both? It can, okay. And then just a quick anecdote. I was here at the meeting last month when they did the presentation, and as I was standing downstairs for the elevator, a public safety officer was in the hall talking with a very distressed woman who was worried about her violent neighbor, and her child was standing there. I could have touched her. I was that close. Well, I'm waiting on the elevator. And I don't think the police officer did anything. I think they just don't have an adequate facility to have that conversation. Or I just assumed, that there ought to be like a consultation area or something. But I think they're jammed for space, and so I just experienced that. And I thought, this isn't the way this ought to be going. So anyway.
I've been told by our lawyer and by our city manager not to comment, but I didn't listen to my wife when she was out here. So what the hell? Yeah, I'm not speaking for the other two people who voted no. I'm speaking for me. I'm not opposed to that location. I'm not opposed to looking at other possible options. I'm opposed to spending money now until we know, and if Boone wants to come here, and we've talked with Boone for a long time, and I'm not taking shots at Boone, I think the best two possible partners we could have would be Boone and MU, and/or MU. So I'm not taking shots at Boone, certainly, but I can't, at this point, I think we need more of a commitment from Boone to say, hey, we want to come to Mexico. They've said that. But there's nothing signed, nothing on a dotted line. And that bothers the heck out of me. Do we want to be down there if Boone says, we just can't figure out any way to do this? Do we want to be at that location for a city hall? I don't know. Maybe we do. But that's where I'm coming from with my no vote. I'm not opposed to that location. I'm not opposed to talking about other locations, which I think we should do. But I just can't vote yes and making an assumption, you all making the assumption that I'm saying, yeah, that's where we need to go, because I'm not saying that. And what the others said or think, it's up to them, but that's my opinion.
If Larry gets to talk, do I get to talk?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm on the other side on that, but, I just don't want to be paralyzed waiting on something because we could just wait and wait and wait and nothing would ever happen and we'll still be in this building. So otherwise, we're going to scrape that building off. It's going to go in the dump. And, as a kind of a home remodeler, and I like taking something old and making it new again, but I would cry if we had to scrape that off. Yeah, there was a lot of donations that made that happen. And, this is still a fulfillment for, a community cause, having that building occupied by a city hall. The building is a clinic and can't be utilized as a hospital. It would just have to be completely gutted. The floor would have to be chopped up because
I'd like to take a shot at Larry. I disagree with him that we have to wait for a commitment from Boone. I'd like to have it, and I've waited and waited and waited and waited, but these are two different subjects. One subject is a city hall, and one subject is a hospital, and we could wait on the hospital for another 3 or 4 years for them to get their act together and get over here, and we certainly want it. But the money for the hospital is not the money for City Hall. That's two different funds. Right. So one shouldn't necessarily stop the other. My no vote is I have never seen us vote as a council to use that building. We did, and it failed. If you want to bring it back up again and see if we can get 3 votes, I'll move forward with you, but I think we should vote for the building. We shouldn't use a letter from the county to be our vote. I think we should have it on our own agenda. We make our own decision, and then we go to the county and say, your letter of intent is good.
Best shot I've ever had at me.
I'll beat you up if I have to.
Anybody else?
Scott Halverson, 3762 Linwood Drive. Used to be a general supervisor out at the Callaway plant. Site preparation is step one. If you don't prepare the site, nothing's going to be built, nothing's going to be happening. Do we have a date where I can physically walk down where the hospital's at and I will see a nice flattened piece of landscape? That's the first step we have to take. If we're going to save a building, I noticed there was a comment where some of these buildings were donated, but they no longer meet the requirements. They need to come down if we're going to build there, and it sounds like the plan is to build the new hospital there because of the central location versus on the south end of town. I don't really care where it gets built, but wherever it gets built, the site preparation has to occur first. I watched the construction of the Callaway plant. It takes a long time to prepare the site. It takes money. That money should be raised now. We do that work now and get that off the table. One less thing you have to talk about if you're talking Boone or MU or someone else. But the site has to be prepared first. So when is that going to be done? Do we have a target date where ground is flat? Is that something we have?
Go ahead.
I think, as I mentioned, that the bids are even coming in this Wednesday in regards to the first demolition.
I understand bids, but dates.
And
we have to have a target date.
Well, in a public process, we have to take bids first. Then we determine, based on those bids, will we move forward? And that will determine it. Now, based on timing, we assume at this point is that those buildings will be down in the second quarter of this year, and by the second quarter, moving into the third quarter of this calendar year, we will move on the demolition for the main unit. So it is projected at this point, most of that property will be cleared by the end of the year or so, or first part of next year.
So target date 2026 in broad. Okay. That's good. Oh, 2027?
Yeah, we're in 26.
Oh, okay. So when you say this year, what you meant?
In 26, we hope to have most of it cleared.
That's what I was saying. The clearing would be in 2026.
They're saying the same thing. He's just saying being done by 27.
Right, well, it takes the next step after that.
Anybody else?
Could I just ask, I have 10 seconds left, could I just ask one question?
Yep.
I also have the same internal face about me standing up and asking a question, I'm sorry. I don't know Robert's Rules of Order very well, but is there anything stopping you all from doing that vote that Chris was asking for tonight so we can save 2 weeks of... Is there anything stopping that? And now my 10 seconds are up.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not
Gotta be
on the agenda.
posted.
Can do.
It'd have to be posted.
Yeah, it has to be.
Anybody else?
Well, I hope we can get this resolved, because right now what we don't have is we don't have a plan for City Hall. And we don't have, which means we also don't have a plan for our public safety. So I hope that if we have to do one more step and then come back to this, I hope we can do that soon.
Well, first of all, thanks for everybody coming out. I appreciate it. If your passion's the hospital, thank you. If your passion's City Hall, thank you. Our passion's City Hall, too. I get it. I voted no.
Yeah, you did.
To stand up and say that I'm against public safety, I think that's a little bit, I think we were one of them that stopped us when we were doing a budget meeting and said, hold on a second, we probably need to do something to retain these officers. So standing in front of City Hall is not our plan, but mine's procedural, and I kind of stand with Councilman Miller in the fact that we need to say that we are going to use the cancer wing, and then we can come back and approve $340,000 to move forward. Navigate's on the phone. It doesn't do anything there. We approve it in 2 weeks, or we approve it in a month. They'll come back on site. I don't know if it's the cancer wing. I know we have some people that want to see some other ones, but City Hall being built there or being built anywhere is not dead. But I think it's procedural, and I think it's right to sit there and say, this is what we want to do, and then if we want to write a check for $340,000, then we're able to say, this is what we went forward with, and that's where we're going to put our money. So, that's just part of it. That's a decision that was made. And so we'll come back, we'll revisit it, and we have all the information. We have all the information on the demolition of the hospital, the building, and moving forward with City Hall. So we appreciate everybody, and we meet every second and fourth Monday. So you're welcome anytime to listen to what was going on in the city of Mexico. So seeing nobody else, look for adjournment into executive session.
I move we adjourn into executive session pursuant to the revised statutes of Missouri 610-021, litigation and legal advice.
Second.
Ray,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Haig,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.